I've been looking forward to this conversation all week. South Africans have been cooking up a storm during lockdown, and not always out of choice. Many have been forced to brush up on their kitchen skills, especially if they wanted to attempt those childhood comfort food recipes we all long for during difficult times. It's meant that well-known chefs who have also been in lockdown, that's before restaurants opened up again, have become kitchen agony aunts. One of them is Celebrity Chef Lesego Semenya, whose debut book, Dijo, even made it back onto the bestsellers list early on in lockdown. His YouTube channel has become a great source of help for the culinarily challenged, I think I just made up a word, both for cooking tips and wine. Let's take a look.
In a fine dining restaurant, just by the way, when this is opened, there is no sound that is allowed to be made. So it's meant to be a silent opening, just a gentle pop, and that is it. If there is a loud pop, really fancy fine dining places will take a cut from the waiter's or tip or pay if the manager is around, or they'll open another bottle. I kid you not. But yeah. Cage is on, fingers around the cage because we're using it to hold, and you gently start twisting. You are not pulling, you're just twisting, and then as you feel it get stronger pressure, you let go slightly, and there you go. No spillage, no corks anywhere, no foaming. And out of all the wines, the etiquette of pouring champagne or bubbly, this is an MCC. This is the only bottle that is allowed to touch the lip of the flute. The reason you pour it at an angle, it allows the wine to flow down the side, which stops it from foaming up. That is why you pour at an angle.
Lesego Semenya joins us now. Les, I'm not a big champagne drinker, but I am the one that always insists on opening that bottle. Why are you such a party pooper? The pop is the big part of it.
Well, Masala, I went to chef school, and we are taught the snobbery at chef school. If you have my book, you'll know what I mean. And all these things, I try to explain them to people in a way that's not condescending, but also when they go to a restaurant, they don't get overwhelmed by all that fuddy-duddy stuff we do in fine dining places.
Now, lockdown has been very interesting. I've been following you quite closely on Twitter because it's the space where we can emote and talk about silly things in the midst of all the serious things. And the thing that caught my eye quite early on in lockdown is you were saying you needed to get your YouTube channel going again because it's been there for some time. Yep. But you said you were struck by the fact that you thought everybody knew how to make those simple childhood favorites, for instance, like Magwenya. But going by what people were posting and tagging you on and asking you questions, perhaps not everybody knows how to make it. And the last time I checked, the video then that you posted showing people how to make it in the right way had over 20,000 hits. Has it surprised you that South Africans don't know how to make some of our favorite childhood foods?
Not really. I've based most of the past 2 years of my cooking in trying to get people to get back into cooking by channeling the heritage and the memories of their childhood. But then I came to realize people don't actually remember how their mums and how their aunts and dads and uncles actually cooked in the kitchen. They crave the food, but they don't know how to perfect it. Hence me deciding during lockdown, all I'm going to do is do 101 videos. So how to make a sauce from scratch. How to, you laugh, but people don't know how to make sauces. How to make a proper custard from scratch using eggs and not a powder. And Magwenya one trended because we were at the beginning of lockdown and people were just craving comfort, they're craving things that reminded them of simpler times. But the obsession with Magwenya is that they need to look round and perfect. And I was surprised that people don't know how to do it. Hence me posting that video.
Now, you've also gone to great lengths to always say Magwenya is not just a vet cook. I feel like it reminded me of having to explain to people the difference between a koesister and a cook sister. I mean, just this week, my sister and I, who live in Johannesburg, my mum lives down in Cape Town, we did a video crossing with my mother, and she showed us how to finally make koesisters, because we don't know when we're going to be able to see her, and she can make it for us. Are you encouraged that these kinds of conversations are happening and the sharing of the differences in different food heritage?
I am. I'm very, very encouraged by it. And South Africans are starting to reclaim what is ours, actually. That fashion of only cooking stuff that's from Europe or from America is starting to phase out. And people are actually showing ways of taking our own cuisine and putting twists on it, modernizing it, but staying true to the heritage of where it comes from. I'm glad that you're actually still connecting with your mom about that, because there's a lack of recipe books that touch on our recipes and the foods that we grew up with. But the past year and a half, 2 years, there's been a big boom in that. And chefs as well are starting to reclaim it, which is going to push it further.
You would have been in as much as many of your peers are going through very, very difficult times. You have pivoted quite a bit. I know you even quite open about going through sort of your downs, as it were, during this lockdown period, like so many of us had. But you've turned things around and you've pivoted to different platforms. You yourself know that you've got health risks of your own that you need to be aware of, so you can't just throw yourself out there and do the kind of events that you used to do. What have you pivoted towards? You've got a new TV show coming out. What is this new normal for Les the Chef looking like?
The new normal. I'm still a chef, and as a chef, I love cooking for people. But I'm also type 1 diabetic, so I've stayed very far away from serving people food and being out there, all my shopping and stuff. I talk about it, though. I tell people this is why I'm doing this a certain way. It's why the YouTube videos, just to keep people thinking about chefs and what we do for a living, so that once COVID is over. But it's come with a lot. The TV show we shot in 10 days within COVID, so everyone had to be compliant. We looked like we were shooting in a lab. The whole place was fumigated before we started. So we're slowly getting back into the normal, but having added COVID compliant things to it. And we have to change as chefs as well. We have to relook how we can actually still be part of the narrative, still make an income, but not putting our health at risk. And hopefully people see what I'm doing as an example.
Oh, absolutely, and extremely encouraging to get us cooking yet again. Thank you so much for joining us. Les the Chef, you can find him on social media. I love the fact that he is not secretive about his tricks of the trade, and he's always ready to help people on Twitter, and even his YouTube channel has been very, very helpful for many people during this lockdown.